First exercise in our recommended daily activity series for today is going to be the toss and catch. So you will need a piece of equipment for this one. It's going to be any kind of ball that you can find lying around the house. For us, we're going to use one of our pressure point balls for massage therapy that we have. You could use a tennis ball, really anything soft enough that you're not going to bang yourself around or bang up the house if you drop it. So the toss and catch, we'll get started in 3 seconds, I guess. Here, she's going to throw it up and catch it with the same hand. Let's begin. 20 seconds here of the toss and catch. Rice's doing some pretty quick throws. That's fine. You can manage a smaller distance of the throw, and that'll be quicker reaction time. Go ahead and now go to the other hand. Yeah. If you wanted to, you could also loft it more, but that requires a little bit more fine-tuning and coordination of how you toss. If tossing is not normally your thing, it might be a bit more challenging. Let's go back and forth, side to side now. Just a real simple toss and catch. It's going to keep you, it's going to teach you to keep your eyes glued to the prize and coordinate those hands. You can do it quick, or you can again throw it a little higher and get a little bit more control out of that tossing practice. Good, very good. You can rest. That's the toss and catch. We're going to move into a high knee march with an overhead reach. So we're going to look for an aerobic response here. We want to get your heart rate up. Go ahead and begin that high knee march overhead reach. We're going to use opposing sides, and we're going to go for a straight minute with each of these exercises. So here she's getting smooth and rhythmic coordinated movement. That's what we look for with aerobic exercise, is that it's repetitive and done in a rhythmic type of motion. So she's timing the top of her reach of the hands with the top of the drive of her knee, smoothly placing those feet down in a very controlled manner to reduce impact. She's getting high hip flexion and hip flexion, knee flexion, which is going to elicit a lot of core strength from this. We have about 15 to 20 seconds left here. She's going to get a lot of shoulder activation by getting both the upper and lower body moving here. A minute is a bit of a short time. Maybe you want to stretch that out if you're really looking for a good aerobic effect, but you will start to feel your heart rate come up and you can rest. That's your minute of high knee march and overhead reach. And we're going to go into a shoulder strength exercise. It's going to be a couple variations of positions for your shoulder. Let's do it, from this position. You're going to hinge lightly forward. That hinge is shifting your weight back to the heels, keeping a straight line spine. We're going to start with the A position. So we're going to open our shoulders down to the side, kind of like a long jump in the Winter Olympics coming up off of the ramp here. We're going to hold for about 5 seconds more. She's squeezing the shoulder blades together, pulling her belly in, and really isolating the back of the arm and tricep. Good. Let's bring it back forward and then come to a T. In the T position, you could go palms forward, or if you have the mobility and you want to get more strength out of your upper back and more flexibility through your front shoulder, rotate those palms up towards your head. That's about 10 seconds. Go ahead and bring it down. We're going to go to the Y position, getting harder as we go here. The Y is going to cause you to want to shrug your shoulders. So as you come up, you got to really minimize that collarbone to your cheek or shoulder to your ear shrug. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. We're going to go to the I, the hardest one, the most restricted one. She's got really good shoulder mobility, so turn slightly toward the camera and they'll see that you're not even quite in a perfect I. You can come back to the middle now, thank you. But you got to try to do what you can without jamming up your shoulders in that I. Bring the hands down, and we're going to go to the W. So she's going to load her elbows high, flared, and then rotate the hands back. She's done a great job of keeping her spine in line in a straight position, so she's probably feeling her lower back here work as well. You can rest. Posterior chain, but really upper body, upper back, and postural corrective exercise there. Next, we're going to do the loaded plank. So let's go into a slightly loaded position. Instead of a full load, we're just going to use a countertop type of plank. So this will this will be our countertop. Rice is essentially going to take a push-up position. So she'll face away from the camera here, and she's going to go onto the exercise, or onto the countertop to do her plank exercise. And if she wants to get a little bit more out of this, she'll scoot her foot back a little bit more and come up onto her toes. Essentially all you're doing in this exercise, go ahead and come up on your toes, off of your heels, onto your toes. Yeah, and actually you're going to want to scoot back a little bit more. The height of the item that you're using is going to determine where you want to be in position of your feet. Ultimately, we're going to start that clock. Ultimately, hands have to stay somewhere right around the front of the shoulders as you start leaning forward. She's depressing the shoulder blades to keep herself strong and locked in position. Here she is using her chest and her triceps, and then she's sucking and tucking in the belly, so she's pulling that belly in and squeezing the glutes through and making her core want to kind of shake and tremble as she activates it here. She's squeezing her belly so it's harder to breathe. So I need her to control her breath. Hold the shoulders, gut, butt, thighs, everything in position, locked in there for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Obviously, if a countertop isn't quite challenging enough, which may be the case for Risa, you could use a chair and you could go down on the seat of a chair and angle that, just back it up against something so it's secure. All right, we're going to get started with a pec minor stretch. So a pectoralis stretch from that same A-frame position that you just learned in your shoulder activation drills. So Rice is going to start with her her fingers angled down away from her on the corner here. We're using the corner of our cabinet. You could use the corner of your wall. You could actually use your countertop. What she's doing is stepping through with that same side leg to position herself slightly angled away from that surface and keeping her palm flat on it. She's also actively depressing her shoulder blade down and back. So she's squeezing that shoulder blade down and back to open up her chest. I'm going to do about another 10 seconds here, 30 seconds on each side. So she's got to activate that backside to get the biggest stretch and open up the fibers of that chest muscle here. 2, 1, and rest. We'll have you turn the other way. Use the other corner. Line that hand up, step through. Here you can see, and remove your hair, that shoulder blade is squeezing down and back, drawing that chest open. You'll get this stretch mainly here in the front corner of your shoulder. So it's kind of where the pec crosses the shoulder. This is also a good stretch to do at a door frame, or in the door frame. You can do it bilaterally, stepping through, or you could do it on the corner of a wall like we have back here, stepping into the corner of that wall. Squeeze and hold for another couple of seconds. Always make sure you're trying to breathe through your stretches and use your breath to relax. And you can go ahead and relax.